I am here with Matt Mitrione?
Almost.
Mitrione. Mitrione. I like to say things right.
Yeah, no problem.
Who are you looking for around here? We are here at Radio Row on Super Bowl, and the first thing you asked me was what?
Have you seen Barry Sanders?
And we have. And you said?
I'm going to nerd out hard. He's the guy I want to meet. He will be the only other person I've ever nerded out over when I met somebody.
Why is he such a big deal to you?
He's the GOAT. He's the greatest of all time. The most humbly, incredible, athletic warrior. Every human being that I think can emulate things that he do.
He's got this crazy fedora on too. A fedora.
Yeah, Fedor. See, get it?
Yeah, Fedor.
Now, Fedor wore a fedora. That would be bananas. And his glorious sweater of absolute.
He'd be like Sodom and Gomorrah.
Ooh, yeah, and then I'd say, can I please get a little Mora?
Oh boy, I think you just stumped me. We'll move on from that. So, did you ever think
House of Horrors?
House of Horrors?
Oh, that could be.
Oh, and then we go to UCLA and go and meet Jim Mora. Yeah, here we go. Here we go.
I can lay a beat down.
Really?
Yeah, like the father and daughter.
Yes.
Yeah, but I'd probably like the father. The daughter laid it down pretty hard. She was pretty good.
Sick, right?
Yeah,
she was good.
Like her remixing. She went hard.
She went hard in the paint.
In the paint.
In the paint.
Yeah.
Did you ever think you would be fighting Fedor?
I hoped I did. I hoped I would. I know that when it came down to negotiating a contract with Bellator, I said, if Fedor ever comes back, I want to be his first fight. So I asked for it.
If you beat him, is it one and done time, retiree again, life?
When I beat him, I don't know. It might be. I'm going to do my best to put hands on him and shins on him. That's for certain. And I don't land him heavy. I mean, I don't land him light. I throw him heavy. So.
You don't land him heavy.
Not a good thing. Not good to be pillow fists. Sorry, Dominic Cruz, I took it. Sorry, buddy.
Dang. What do you expect out of Fedor?
I don't know. That's a really interesting question. I mean, Fedor is the GOAT. He's beaten the best in the world that's ever fought, right? And any name you've ever heard, he's beaten. So I think that if there is a fight that I expect that one, but his last handful of fights hasn't really been that way. So we'll see how it goes, but I'm training for the best that's ever been.
You're an outspoken guy.
The microphone is it's perfect.
It's perfect for us.
I keep trying to hold it. I don't know what to do with my hands.
I know. I never know. I never know what to do with my hands. Quick, Mom. No hands. So you just left the UFC. Mm-hmm. You're an outspoken guy. What do you think of all of the drugs going on in the sport and the new testing?
The bad drugs.
The bad
drugs. Oh, sorry.
Drug testing.
Yeah. I think that it's a catch-22, right? Everybody wants their fighters, the mass, the viewing public, wants their fighters to look like Tarzan, fight like Spartacus. 300, right? Wants them to fight like that. But then they get upset when they're on steroids. Well, then you have to change your expectations, right? So, I think that if people want people on steroids, then it's a very open-minded perspective. I understand this. But they want people on steroids, then say, okay, look, you can take testosterone, cypionate, and you can take one other thing for, health reasons, but you can't be any more than those two, and you can have your levels at 1,000, right? So if you're over 1,000, that's your fault. You got too close to the line. But if you get caught taking anything else other than those two apply or agreed on drugs, then you're banned for life.
Banned for life.
So, but I think everybody understands, especially now in this day and age, that testosterone is good for athletes, good for fighters. And there was a TRT or a TUE, right, a therapeutic use exemption, right? So I think if you're going to be open-minded and talk about testosterone, I think you can talk about it in an educated way. It's not that it's the worst thing in the entire world, but I also understand that if you allow steroids, then you become a sideshow. What do you make of the talk of the Fighters Union? I think we need one. I think that it's a shame that there are three different entities that can't agree and that they're all fighting over the same piece of no pie whatsoever, and they can't put their differences aside and say, hey, look, let's get the golden ticket before we argue over who owns the golden ticket. Right. Why can't you guys just say, hey, look, we need a better organization. We need to have organization. We need a better way for fighters to get paid, a better way for them to get represented, a better way for them to have auxiliary incomes, and a better way for them to health care and support their families when they're done. Why can't you just say that? Those are the 5 things we need. Let's focus on that. Let's hammer out the differences in a room and let's sleep in there until we get done. And we'll figure out something. We can all get along. And then once we get what we're looking for, then jockey for a position. Show how big your nuts are and be like, hey, look, I'm the guy for this because I've done this. Did you just say, show us how big your nuts are? I believe that is a first Facebook Live. Yes.
That means like man up. Let's go.
Look,
let's.
you're jockeying for a position, right?
Yeah.
Like, look, man, I deserve this because this is what I did, right?
Yeah.
Like in that situation, and you can do it with a bunch of other dudes that want to be alpha dudes too. Cool, man. You want this position because it pays the most money. Cool. Why do you deserve that position? All right, right on. And then figure that out once we get the golden ticket. But if we don't get the golden ticket,
No Wonka.
yeah, no Wonka, man. No factory.
No factory. No factory. No healthcare. No factory. How are you guys getting healthcare now in general? UFC and Bellator.
You buy it yourself. Or you take on massive debt, and that's not a good thing. Well, the UFC has the insurance, right, where it costs like what $1,500 per occurrence, $1,500 deductible per occurrence, and they cover whatever else. But most guys don't have $1,500 laying around, and especially if it's leading into a fight, and you go ahead and take this, and all of a sudden they find out something bad happened, so you can't take a fight. Now you just dropped $1,500, and you didn't even get a fight.
No dice.
Yeah, so it's a really tricky scenario, but. Plus, like, how are we supposed to be considered a real sport when guys have to take on another job in order to support themselves? It can't be considered a real sport. It's a hobby. It's a pastime, and that needs to change.
Now,
I'm intelligent. Isn't that weird?
I always thought you were from the
for a living. I'm coming up with an invention, by the way. I'm in the second generation of it. I can't tell you guys what it is, but I'm trying to increase training protocol and data and quantify it and make things safer for trainers and fighters.
Do you know Jay Glazer at all?
I do. Jay's a good dude. I'm good with the guy.
Do you have any good Jay Glazer stories?
I do, and it's not. He was a third party to it. He was not privy to it whatsoever. So we were in the gym. I used to own a gym in Indianapolis. I talk really fast, so pay attention. So he comes in. I think it was when the Super Bowl was in Indianapolis, and he comes in and he's teaching us something. He's showing us something, and there's this chiropractor in town. Remains nameless, and he comes in, and he's a rather large fellow. And he's wearing these skin-tight white spandex, skin-tight short boys, like upper mid-quad spandex. And he's got no shirt on, and he's got these dry skin on his elbows and his knees, and he's scratching them. And he's trying to talk to Jay all close, like his belly all on him. And Jay was like, just thought this dude was just a total creep, but he didn't really want to do anything about it as a trip. So that's my Jay Glazer story. I've got a couple of them, but that's my favorite.
That's a good one.
Is that this bear of an albino rhino of a dude was just all in his kitchen wearing these tight little spandex boys with no shirt on, scratching his dry skin.
So we're doing we're here for a Super Bowl. There's football being played. You've played football.
I did.
We're also here for the commercials. But we're here for the commercials, right? So you're a big hip hop head.
What are you doing on Super Bowl?
I don't know. We should plan it
You
out.
go to the game?
I don't know. We got to figure it out. Map it out. Cheetos, me and you,
I've been to
nachos.
6 of them, and I've never been to a game.
Really? Bounce. So before we sign off, you're a big hip hop head, so am I. Let's tell me your favorite Super Bowl commercial, if you can remember one. Do you have one off the top of your head? Your favorite?
I don't. I remember a couple
Some
of them
good
a few
ones.
years ago that were spectacular.
Which ones were they?
It was a Doritos commercial that was absolutely spectacular.
What was in it?
I can't remember, but I remember it
Was it with the baby?
I don't know. Was that the one when the baby was talking?
And the baby was coming out of her belly? The baby was following the Dorito? Is that the one?
That might be it. I don't know. That's kind of creepy.
Why don't we sign off with a little flow?
Let's do it.
Give a shout out to the USA Today fans and the Bellator fans and even UFC fans that are going to follow you because you're so dope.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, follow Matt.
us. Follow me.
Mitrione.
I'm going to punch the stoic Russian, the GOAT, in his face on February 18th on Spike TV. If you're not watching, that's your fault. I'm trying to stop the Cold War, me and Trump.
Oh, my goodness. I think that's a good enough way to sign off. You keep it locked right here. We'll be streaming all day. Matt, thank you for stopping by.
Appreciate the effort, dude.